Have you ever been in a situation where you really love and enjoy doing something, and then eventually at some point in your life, you decide that you wanna take a step further and improve in that area? You wanna take that area seriously. For example, it could be your hobby, which you used to spend a lot of time on. So after you've decided to take that hobby seriously, you start the grind. You work 24/7 every single day. You go to bed with the thoughts of improving in that area. You wake up with these thoughts. And even though you used to spend a lot of hours on your hobby, after you decided to make a job out of it, it basically turned into a routine and you stopped having fun doing this. Then you start to get a little frustrated from working basically all the time, and you start to go to Reels and TikTok and all that stuff. Then you stumble upon those motivational videos, which become fuel for you to keep going. And eventually you lead yourself to the point where you basically start to hate what you used to love. Well, you're not alone. I've been in this situation many times until I've learned my lesson. That's why today I wanted to discuss this grinding 24/7 motivational videos. Let me show you.
You've made no progress.
It's time to get back to work. I'll go to bed at 6 a.m. and I'll wake up 1 minute before that at 5:59, minus 1 minute sleep.
And even though we understand that some of the people who push that motivation and talk to people about working 24/7 and grinding have best intentions in their minds. The thing that appears to be happening is that those videos that we stumble upon on social media are fed to us in such chunks that when we see them, we think that people who are giving us advices are actually working and grinding all the time, 24/7, which is absolutely not true. There is no human on planet Earth who would be able to work 24/7 every single day for many, many years. Hold the thought there. I'm not saying that a person cannot commit to something and work like that for a certain period of time, but it's impossible to be like that for your whole life. And sometimes we take it too seriously, which leads to certain burnouts and all that jazz and health problems. Basically, if we imagine it as, weights, and on one cup we see fun and on another cup we see work, they have to be in balance. Because if there is imbalance, one side of us starts to get hurt. If you only have fun and never think about work, it kind of becomes pointless. And you start to mentally, if you're thinking about that at all, you start to mentally destroy yourself that you are not working enough and that you don't achieve anything. And on the other hand, if you work too much, you get into that so much that eventually you burn out, it gets you frustrated, and you basically start to miss out on life. Look at Joe Rogan, the best podcast in the world. Do you actually think that he is sitting there all day 24/7 thinking about how he's gonna grow his podcast? No, he's doing some other stuff. He's learning new things every time every new guest comes to him. He has so many different topics to discuss with the guests. That's why he's interesting. He's interesting to listen to. He's informative. He knows so much stuff because he had fun earlier learning about this stuff that he is able to discuss any topic with any guests. And that's what makes it so entertaining. You're listening to it, you're watching it, he's dancing somewhere, he's talking about shrooms and some other stuff, and that's why we like it. So, everybody loves lists, so I made a list of 3 things that, in my opinion, are getting damaged if you're actually grinding 24/7 and never stopping for a break. We've already touched every single point from this list, from the examples that I gave before, but I believe it's a good thing to sum it up. The first one, you become less productive and hurt your business or whatever you are doing. You see, again, speaking about the balance, if you disrupt it, if you go over one way too much, you stop learning about the world around you and you get so absorbed into one single topic that eventually makes you lack what's around you. You need to have conversations with people. You need to talk to your teammates and be, on the same level to have a good energy. Also, it really affects your mental. You become more agitated, you get frustrated easier. At some point, even your brain tells you to, get a distraction from what you're doing. So you start to look for some bad habits like going to Reels and getting absorbed in social media where you don't even remember which video you watched 3 videos before. All these things eventually lead to a burnout where you don't feel like doing anything at all. You don't want to do what you love to do. You don't want to sleep, you don't want to eat, you don't want to drink, you don't want to do anything. And as we all know, it doesn't lead to anywhere good. And the third thing, which I believe is the most important, is that you really start to miss on life. That 24/7 grinding mindset gets you in some place where you're having dinner with your family and you keep thinking about your work. You're on the phone with your girlfriend and you can't think about anything but your work, and you don't even listen what she's saying. You don't know what's going on in the world, so you are far away from the reality. And it's not really something that you would wish for somebody, because what's the point of working all the time if you can't really spend time with the people you love? So yeah, if you ever stumble upon these grinding 24/7 videos, work all the time videos, don't take it too serious, absorb it as motivation, but don't let it get into your head too much. Because even those people who are suggesting you to work 24/7 and always grinding and, you know, struggling and all that stuff, I don't believe they are always working this much themselves. Because think about it in this way. If those motivational speakers would have fun and show it to you, so you would see that they are not always working and what they are talking about is not 100% truth, they are working a lot, but they have time for fun, you would perceive their image in a different way, and it would really hurt what they're trying to project to the world. At least that's how I see it personally. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to discuss and talk about today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you been grinding lately? But I'm out. See ya.